Hello friends, in today's video we're going to be changing the rear brake pads and the discs on this Mercedes B Class. This particular model is 2009 and it's the rear left hand side brake discs and the pads we're going to change. Obviously we're going to do the right hand side as well, so I'm going to video only one side. Just to let you know that this particular model I'm changing the brake discs and the pads on doesn't have the brake vest sensor. I've checked on the both sides, so the brake vest sensor, brake pad vest sensor uh, is not present on these models. So what we need to do is we need to undo these two bolts to get the caliper out, and then there's two more bolts to remove the guide, caliper guide, which is this clamp here. Make sure that the handbrake is down and the front wheels are fully locked so that the car doesn't roll front or back. So safety before anything else. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use this angle chisel to push the piston back. Okay, so what we're gonna do here is just gonna slide this chisel here. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm gonna push the piston back. Okay, so this one you don't have to wind the piston back, you can just push it back nice and easy, just like that. Just gonna bring the camera closer. There we go. So what I did is I used this angle chisel and I pushed the piston back. So now we can go ahead and remove the caliper itself, and then we're gonna remove the guide, caliper guide, and the last thing we're gonna do is we're gonna undo this bolt here, which is gonna allow us to take the disc off and replace it with a new one. Right, so the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna remove these two 13mm bolts to remove the caliper. Okay, so 13mm ratchet spanner we're gonna use to remove to loosen the bolts. So we're just gonna use a spanner, 16mm spanner, to lock the guide pin, and that's how we're gonna undo the bolt at the top. So same for the bottom one. Again we're gonna use the 13mm spanner. There we go. And now we're gonna hold the guide pin with the 16mm spanner, and that's how I'm gonna remove the bolt. There we go. So that's both of the bolts out of the way. Just gonna move the caliper on the side. Just gonna rest it here. Here comes the old brake pads. There we go. Right, in order to remove this clamp, we'll have to remove the two bolts. Okay, just gonna show you the bolts we're gonna remove. Okay, there's one here. This is the bolt we need to remove, and there's one at the bottom, just here. This one here. We're gonna be using a 16mm socket to slacken it off. There we go. So we slackened off the top bolt. So now we're gonna slacken off the bottom one. So just gonna move the camera down to the bottom bolt, which is just here. This one. Again, there we go. 16mm socket. There we go. So that's the bottom bolt, nicely been removed. Right, so we've taken the bottom bolt of the guide rail. So just gonna remove the top one now, which is just here, this one here. Again, just gonna use a ratchet. There we go, that's the bolt out of the way. Now we'll just remove the whole clamp. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to undo this bolt here, which is securing the disc itself. So we're going to be using our T30 TX Torx to slacken off the bolt. So we're going to slide in this pin here, and now we're going to try to remove the bolt out of the way. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to use a copper mallet. There we go. So the disc itself and the drum just came off, but the drum just snapped. We're just gonna pull out. So that's the old disc, nicely been taken off. You can tell how weak it was. Couple of hits and it just broke. Just gonna give it a good clean all around. Here comes the new disc. I've already given it a good wipe with the spirit to clean all the wax off it. So just gonna slide that in here. So next we're gonna drive in the bolt to secure the disc. There we go. That's nice and tight. Shouldn't be too tight. Right, so the next thing I'm going to do is we're going to clean this clamp with a wire brush. So just going to run the wire brush here, get all the dust and debris out. Same on this side. Right, so the next thing I'm going to do is just going to apply copper grease on these guide pins. So just going to pull it out and apply copper grease on the guide pins. There we go. That's good enough. And then same for this side. Okay, a bit of copper grease, just gonna spread it around. There we go. Right, now that we have fitted the disc, we're gonna slide in the caliper clamp. So this is how it slides in all the way. So before I screw it, just gonna make sure that there isn't any grinding, any rubbing. So just gonna screw the clamp itself. Okay, so that's the top bolt we're gonna screw to start off with. There we go. Okay, so next we're gonna screw the bottom bolt, which is just here. This one is. There we go. So that's the bottom bolt fully secured. So just gonna screw the top one now. Just gonna screw the top one. There we go. That's good enough. So just gonna screw this one as well. Just gonna torque it up to the right spec. There you go. So that's the caliper clamp fully secured. So the next thing I'm gonna do is we're gonna fit the new brake pads. So here are the new brake pads. Okay, so before we fit the new brake pad, we're gonna apply copper grease on the legs on both sides. So that's one side, that's another side, and we're just gonna slide it in here like this. Simple as that. So here comes the outer pad again. Just a little bit copper grease on the legs. That's one side, one edge, other edge, and just gonna slide it in here in this manner. So the next thing I'm gonna do is we're gonna bring in the caliper itself. So before we fit the caliper, just gonna use a wire brush. Just gonna keep it away from the pads, keep away from the hub, and then we're gonna just clean this debris, all that rust buildup. Okay, so just gonna bring it over like this. Right, so just gonna screw the bolts. and that is to secure the caliper itself. There we go. 13mm spanner. So just gonna use a 16mm spanner to lock the guide pin so that we can secure the. There we go, that's good enough. Same for the bottom one. There we go, that's good enough. So that's the caliper nicely secured. There we go, friends, job done. Nice and easy, straightforward procedure to change the brake pads on this Mercedes B Class. As you saw, the tricky bit was to remove the actual disc, which has a built-in drum for the handbrake, but we managed to do the job nicely. I hope this video is gonna be helpful for your future projects. Thank you very much for watching the video.